Welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
Oh, and we are on the back seven of the Land Before Time. We're back this week with Land Before Time VIII, The Big Freeze. You know what I like about
Not a Christmas movie.
I know, so sad.
It's not a Frozen crossover.
I was going to say, you know what I like about these is like, you know, nowadays all these franchises are like, oh God, we can't let people know it's the 9th movie or whatever. And they're just like, let's come up with some crazy new title. But this one, they're just like, nah, give them all the numbers and make them Roman numerals.
Yeah, make those kids learn their Roman numerals. Yeah. Dang it.
It's going to be real confusing when we get to 30. Anyways.
Because of the 3 X's?
Yeah. Land Before Time X.
Right, because then they have to get Vin Diesel, I assume is what you mean.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. All right, well, we're excited to talk a brand new film here.
Is it?
It's no, I mean, like for us, but it's from 2001. But before we get too far here, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yeah, email us at sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcast. 5 sky circles goes a long way into inviting other people into our herd and welcoming them into the great valley that is Sequel Rights.
That's right.
Unless you don't look like us.
Right. True.
We can all play in the sparkly ground dust together.
No, you liar.
All right.
There's no sparkly ground dust.
Shut up, Littlefoot. Okay. Here we go. It's time for the Big Freeze.
Your kids' favorite characters are back. Join Littlefoot, Sarah, Petrie, Spike, and Ducky in their greatest adventure. Universal Studios Home Video is proud to present The Land Before Time, The Big Freeze.
That looked like fun.
Featuring the dazzling animation your family has come to expect from the Land Before Time films.
Oh, the dazzling animation. These trailers pretty much all sound the same. It's like, here's a guy listing off all the characters. And didn't you like the last one? Well, you'll probably like this one too.
I mean, to point out the animation is just like ludicrous, because if anything, like this is like the best it's been in a minute. Yeah. Like,
I thought this one started to look real weird to me, personally.
There's some actual VFX happening with the animation. There's some cool light things. Like there's definitely some of the best looking shots in this.
Yes.
But there are some things that definitely look strange.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say, yes, Eliz is right, though. I wouldn't say that they've been known for their incredible animation, except for the first movie.
Not just incredible, but dazzling.
Dazzling.
They're bedazzling in animation. Well, this was an interesting movie to watch while we're about to live through the big heat here this week.
Yeah.
We're in like the exact opposite of our dino friends here. And yeah, this is another Land Before Time movie.
Back to the original narrator.
Yep. Which is the same voice. Isn't it the same voice as
Sarah's dad?
Yeah, Daddy Tops. John Ingle.
Who we still only have heard called Mr. Three-Horn through this whole movie. So again, I may have had a fever dream and made up Daddy Tops.
I mean, that's the best thing that could have happened. I hope it's real, but if it's fake, that could be better. I don't know. Well, so yeah, this movie's called The Big Freeze, and here I am sitting almost 20 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, okay, so when's the snow gonna happen? And yeah, it happens around the 17-minute mark, but I guess that's not that late into the movie.
God, was it only the 17-minute mark? I was like, where is the snow?
That's what I was going to say.
It feels long.
It does.
It is short.
It's just as long as all the other ones. It's like an hour and 15 minutes, but it's just like boring.
Yeah, I think that was what I was getting at when I was like, is it a brand new movie? Because like all of these feel like the same iteration. Now we're back to them having to leave the Great Valley to go to the Great Beyond for some reason that none of the adults believe. This time there's an old guy, but it's not the old turtle, it's an old dinosaur.
Yeah, this one's definitely the one where I felt the most like, wow, they're just out of ideas.
Well, yes, but also in some ways it brought some kind of interesting character things for some of our characters, especially some of them that have kind of like been around for a long time and we've never really dived into their psyche. Not that we maybe needed to, but I mean, it was kind of interesting, I guess, to learn more about like how Ducky's mom feels about adopting this son that's like different than her other kids and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's good.
I did like because it does ultimately like half end up being like a Ducky Spike movie, but it should have maybe focused completely on that. And it just feels like really contrived to have the like, why does it have to be the big freeze thing? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
They could have still done all the same stuff without having this like weird, like, oh no, it's snow everywhere. Yeah, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the freezing and the Mr. Thicknose stuff all ends up kind of being like Littlefoot vehicles for him to have a character moment and like in a way to kind of learn that you can't just be like unbridledly precocious at all times, how it could like really hurt someone if you just constantly like question everything they say. Like at a certain point, it's not cute anymore, And Littlefoot sort of does need to learn that.
He does, but then there's also a song in this movie that's just like, we're all liars.
Right.
Which is actually kind of a good song for kids, but at the same time, it's a mixed message.
Certainly, yeah. But yes, Ducky and Spike, and the mom, I was really like, wow, they're really finally getting into it. I'm shocked.
Yeah. I was worried watching this movie, like, man, we're going to have nothing to talk about because I feel like you could, part of me is like, oh man, you could like list off what happens in this movie in under a minute because there's just like, there's a lot of extended scenes of what I thought might be interesting. Like, oh, we're seeing the kids in school finally, like they're learning something. But then those scenes go on for so long, and it's like Mr. Thicknose, like in his beautiful low voice of the actor who plays Rafiki in The Lion King.
Robert, is it pronounced Guillaume or
I don't know.
Guillaume?
I don't know.
It looks like Gillam, but anyways, there's double L.
Which
Rafiki.
He's doing a great job, but his voice is just like makes me want to go to sleep when I'm watching it. A little bit. He's just got that really like soothing older gentleman voice.
Right.
I think he does a great job. But yeah, like I said, it just very slow start, and I too was shocked that it was only 17 minutes. Even though that's like a big chunk of it, an only hour and 15-minute movie where the first snowstorm happens.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little bit
and
of
as
snow.
usual, like Littlefoot gets in trouble because he's the only idiot that can't sleep through the night without like going around and looking at things. And then again, he gets the Chicken Little situation, crying wolf, whatever. And everyone gangs up on him again. I'm like, God, did you guys not learn? Wasn't that literally just the last movie?
It was just last week.
It was about that?
Yep.
Okay.
And it plays out the exact same way. Like, eventually he's like, see, I told you. God, you idiots. When I did think it was funny. They all wake up in the morning just totally covered in snow. And apparently like everyone slept through all of that. They just wake up and like didn't realize some of the dinosaurs are fully underneath the snow. Like Ducky's sisters, I think. Or brothers and sisters, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Littlefoot, I mean, I don't know. Like, I did think it was kind of funny when Grandpa was talking to him about it, and it was kind of nice that at least Grandpa kind of learned to like not immediately shut down Littlefoot. He was kind of like, it's like, yeah, I have heard of it, but then I thought he was talking about California because he was like, that stuff only happens at places people come here to get away from.
Yeah.
I also liked when Littlefoot was like, Petrie, you believe me, don't you? And he was like, yep, but me believe anything. I was like, that was like a
That
great
is
line.
true, what he does, yes.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Yeah, so before we get into like the whole big freeze and everything, there's some other visitors this time around. And yeah, it is interesting that I was thinking like we haven't really seen many stegosauruses at all in the entire series. And here we are with a whole group of them. And our other new character addition this week, Tippy.
Oh, Tippy.
I guess
Tippy.
is the name.
It like took me half the I mean, okay, gender's a construct, but it took me half the movie to realize that Tippy was a little boy and not like a little girl that was in love with Spike. Especially because he has the like long eyelashes, which they used to differentiate Allie from Littlefoot back in the day, however many movies ago that was.
Yeah.
But no,
and it's like similar coloration as Allie, which was kind of like leaning more pink. Not that pink,
which
has
like
to be
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, great, he's a boy. I don't really care, but I was just like, wait, what? Like after it took until the mom was like, "Come on, boys, let's go." I was like, huh? Oh well.
And also like, why is he named Tippy?
Because of the famous presidential candidate, Tippy Canoe. And
Yeah, that's what I was like. Is that true?
Tippy Hendrick?
Because like all the other dinosaurs they're named like something kind of.
Maybe he fell over a lot.
Mr. Thicknose.
He did actually. He was kind of clumsy, I think. He almost killed Spike.
He was a little roly-poly, yeah.
Tippy. Duffy's friend, the seagull, is named Tippy Blue.
Ah.
Okay, so yeah, Tippy, and then the mom, like, actually almost seems kind of evil. Like she's like plotting to steal Spike, almost like for reasons. I don't know, but you know, eventually she just seems like she's trying to be nice.
Yeah,
That's fine.
That first like conversation that she has with Ducky's mom, like her responses are really odd. Like at first you think she's gonna turn and be like, great, well, he's a stegosaurus, so he's gonna come with me. But then, like, you know, as she goes on, she's like, I just love that. And it was just really kind of an awkward conversation that they had when she's like,
yeah, the way that Mrs. Whatever her name is, Spiketail acts is probably the way that like parents who have adopted kids and are in a Facebook group together would probably like make a meme of like things other parents say to us that aren't cool, and everything that Mrs. Spiketail says would be in there. Like, oh, like, but like he's not your real son, you know, like
right.
She's being very like mean and condescending.
Yeah,
like, no,
it was just
for
so
son.
weird. It was so weird the way they played that. But then, yeah, she was just like, I love that idea. It's just so great. But I couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic or what. But yeah, there is that creepy moment too where she's like, if you like staying with us, maybe you can stay even longer. She didn't quite say it like that, but that's how I chose.
Like the Mulan grandma, like, would you like to stay forever?
Yeah. But yeah. So the whole at the start of the movie, there's a little bit of strife going on between Ducky and Spike. Because Spike just keeps doing his what they call it? Night
rumbles?
Night rumbles, yes.
Right? I think. Yeah.
The night rumbles. Which, so Ducky can't sleep. Shut up with those night rumbles. And
he eats her special tree stars.
Oh, yeah. That was messed up. That was pretty messed up.
Night rumble.
It's a night rumble.
So we got to talk about this song, which you already sort of referenced in the opener, which was great.
It's the aptly titled "The Mad Song." There's just great titles for these songs this time around. Really, really smart titles.
I mean, okay, so it makes sense that like Ducky doesn't know how to express herself or anger because it's not like really in her personality, and Sarah is certainly a good person to give her this lesson, but the song is just bad. Like it really would be a good character moment for both of them, especially when Ducky says, maybe I should just act like your dad. Like I was like, yes, yeah. Perfect.
Here, I've got that because it's such a sick burn. Here we go.
Pretend that you're a sharp tooth. I could pretend I am your dad.
Yeah.
I heard that and was like, oh shit.
Sick burn.
Yeah. Everyone knows your dad sucks.
Yeah. I'm glad that she didn't bother to try to argue with anyone about that this time. She was just like resigned to it. But yeah, the song you referenced, the like mad thing,
Yeah.
like she only like does it once
only at the
though. And then I was
start,
like, I feel like that should be the chorus or the hook, you know, like I don't know. Mad to the bone, mad.
Yeah.
Mad.
And they also, the songwriters, I feel like, made the mistake of trying to describe with words what mad is, like feeling like mad is. And
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it sounds like diarrhea.
Yeah, what do you guys think they're describing here?
When your tummy feels all sticky and hot, like it's filled with bubbly goo.
Yeah, there's even like a bubbly noise, like.
Yeah.
You're like, she's talking about. Yeah, you're right. Diarrhea is definitely what she's talking
That's
about.
whatever you need. Yeah, of course.
Poop.
Yeah.
Which is also a good song for kids, and that's what this
Although
one
the
should
first
be.
couple notes of that clip sounded really Twin Peaksy, but then it immediately turned.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I did like that the whole thing leads up to her being like, and when you're really mad, you can just scream. And then like in the middle of the song, they cut to her dad and he's like, she sure is mad at somebody. It's like, come on.
It was good. But yeah, the song is just not a good song. And
No.
also like the animation, like, okay, I obviously, understand that this is a animated film and the whole cartoon rules and the principles of animation and the 9 old men and all that, but like there's way too much squishing and stretching going on here. They're dinosaurs and we have not really had them act that way in the past, but now they're like Bugs Bunny and like, like changing form, and like Sarah is like just like getting gigantic and then small again, and the scale is all off, but not even like in just a straight scale way, like in a, well, now her head is like significantly larger than her body, and it's a lot of squishing and stretching. It did not work. They're dinosaurs.
There was that like there was that moment where Ducky like goes off and sits on a pond while she's like, being pensive or whatever, and like Sarah walks up to her and kneels down, and there's that part, that's right at that part she looks like so gigantic and bigger than she ever does. There's more weird scale.
It bothered me
things.
the whole movie, but especially in this song because Sarah's like making all these like, emotional things, and her body like changes. It's very weird.
I also thought it was really it was odd that there's not really any special features on the DVD for this one, but there is like a sing-along. You can click to sing along with the songs, but the only songs you can do that with are the other 2 songs and not this one. So I was kind of like, that's so weird. I wonder if like the filmmakers were like, maybe we should like, try to cut off these parental complaints at the head, like where this kid is singing about being mad all the time, and why'd you put that on there? And my kid, all they do is sing about being mad.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of
totally. There were no special features except the bios of all the dinosaurs and Charles Grosvenor again. And then the how to use your remote control with the cartoon monkey and the 3 other realistic animals.
Same
exact same thing. I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one terrible song down.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I want to kind of get into, we were talking about, last time out, if now that there's a couple things happening just largely in the Land Before Time universe, right? Seems like that there's always migrators coming through the Great Valley. Always. Yep. It's not a seasonal thing. It's not a thing. Seems like that a lot of them are real happy, and there's plenty of places for them to be. Which would make it seem like that Littlefoot, becoming more and more curious, would want to take some sort of adventure outside the Great Valley. But no, we're back to being reset, even though there was an entire song in the last movie about him having this newfound sense of, I have to go out and beyond and explore. It gets back to our lead poisoning theory, and I just think it's the strongest thing that we've come up with.
Something's in the water there.
Yeah.
Okay, Okay, so yes, they are forgetting their short-term memories, but I think the long-term memories are really starting to set in because everyone is starting to remember that Sarah's dad is an asshole. Like they're starting to like when he starts his thing, they're like, come on, like even like no one's really like jumping in to defend him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also feel like it's a little bit weird that they make it feel like our group of dinosaurs are like the main dinosaurs in the Great Valley. Like there's nobody else, but then we keep learning about all these other people that like grew up in the Great Valley for forever, like Mr. Thicknose, and like why isn't his original herd like still in charge or something?
They just like they just didn't have enough money to show them before, but now they want to act like everyone's been there the whole time.
Right, like there were always dinosaurs
Which is
here.
fair enough, but I don't know.
It's just kind of odd. But
yeah,
so then the snow happens and everyone starts freaking out. There's no mass panic like they did at previous ones where everyone's running around, but they're all just kind of like, what is this? Huh?
Well, to be fair, Mr. Thicknose is like, it'll be fine. Like, it'll be gone in the morning.
I mean, honestly, like, yes, maybe he shouldn't have talked about it if he didn't really know, but at the same time, it is insane that everyone turns against him for not predicting the weather correctly.
I mean, it's not insane because we have seen it happening in real time in our own not dinosaur fictional land.
That's true.
But yes, I agree. The behavior is not justifiable.
Yeah, you knew about this yesterday and didn't tell us? Which is basically what happens. I thought that was really funny. The parents in these movies are just like terrible.
Insane.
I mean, the spike-tail herd, they had like the right idea when the snow first comes. They're kind of like, okay, well, yeah, but like because of where you live, it's probably gonna melt really soon, and it's like not a big deal. And everyone's like, okay, then let's just like play and have a huge montage of snowball fights. But yeah, then they start to realize it's not just gonna go away.
Yeah, we mentioned that this isn't a Christmas movie, but like there's so many times throughout it that I'm like, man, they're trying real hard to make this feel like a Christmas movie because sometimes the music, like the score is like very Christmassy sounding, like,
Yeah, Tavera was like, oh, we got snow? Let me pull out my Edward Scissorhands impression and start, doing a little Danny Elfman.
Yeah, you start to be like, are we hearing sleigh bells there? No, we never hear sleigh bells, but you think there might be sleigh bells happening. But yeah, I did love that they, immediately could figure out the concept of snowball fights and snowmen, building snowmen. They do that. They make one of Spike.
Well, what else are you gonna do with snow? Don't they accidentally make one of Spike?
No, they're doing it, but they're
no. They're doing it subconsciously.
Yeah,
they're like, oh,
and it's like we don't miss him, and then it's like, oh no,
that's
it's
true.
Our
yeah,
friend.
I was like, they're talking at the same time, like da 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 da, while he's like sculpting with his tail. That's so stupid.
I like that Spike immediately gets introduced to the concept of brain freeze.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he would. Because he's just like, I got to try to eat everything as soon as I see it, which was great.
Also, it makes me, I guess it's like there's something much more serious happening in these movies that we see that Spike Tails of that same age do have full language. And so him being deprived of being with his own kind has affected his development in a way.
Yeah.
That is very real and kind of an interesting choice that these movies have just made.
I know we don't fully know that it's because he's not around his own kind because everybody else is talking, but it definitely probably has something to do with the trauma of, being hatched to no one and then what they had to immediately go through.
But it seems like, given that fact, the fact that there's even a dramatic beat about him being like, oh, like, well, I guess he's choosing that family over us. And it's like, seems like he really needs to, maybe.
He would be better off.
Seems like that might be good for his development for a little bit because something has gone wrong.
Oh, God.
I'm just working with what the movie's given us, okay?
Yeah, so the Stegosaurus clan, they all decide that they're going to peace out, go find somewhere else that's not frozen.
That's apparently really easy to do.
Yeah, They know where they're going. No big deal.
Yeah, and it's of course it's nice of Spike-tailed Lady to offer for Spike to go with them for a while, but then like Ducky's mom kind of like freaks out and like they never straight up go up to Spike and say like, do you want to go with them or do you want to stay here? Like they never really let him like have that chance like correctly. And then when he gets confused, then Ducky immediately like gets mad and is like, she stomps off. And, yeah, it's very weird.
Get out of here. Get out of here, Spike. I hate you. Yeah.
I hate you.
He goes off, and that leads to eventually Ducky going off to find
we got to talk about the sad family song, though.
Oh,
because this song, if you just read it on paper, would ostensibly be kind of like a happy song. It's like, yes, he's leaving for a while. He's going on a trip, but he'll always be part of our family, and we love him, and family, it's your chosen family, and we're all family, and blah, blah, blah. But the melody and the notes here are it's like a funeral dirge or something, like it is so just dour and sad that you can't really take anything positive from the message, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just like the other two songs in this movie, not the Mad song, I just felt like are so nondescript and boring that I was just like,
well, all three are negative.
Yeah. But the last two, I was just like, I can't even try to sing it back to you.
It's okay to lie. Everybody does it. Just make shit up.
But it doesn't sound like that. It's like got a fucking harmonica like
singing. And this guy can sing, by the way. Like, I don't know if this was a Instagram algorithm thing, because I looked him up, and then immediately after, when I was on Instagram, the Pantages had posted a picture of him from an old premiere, the Robert Guillaume, and it mentioned that he was the first black person to play the Phantom.
Oh wow!
So he can sing.
Shit.
He didn't need to sing this like everybody lies about stuff.
I mean, it's possible that his vocal cords were not available.
Well, he was older.
But like,
I don't know. I feel like it's the direction probably for these things. Make it simple for the kids. I don't know. Singing would be simpler than talk singing, I think.
Yes.
And maybe if there was like a decent melody, that'd be just perfect.
I just don't like, I mean, I understand that these two people, Amanda McBroom and Michelle Brauman or whatever, I understand that they've done some really cool things in their career and written some really iconic songs, but like they're just phoning it in on these movies, and they are not improving from movie to movie. They're actually getting worse.
No,
it almost makes me wonder if they wrote a packet of like 20 songs or something like that for the first one, and then they were just like, great, we'll take it. And they're like, no, that was a pitch. And they were just like, no, we're good.
Oh my gosh, that might be it, because I'm kind of wondering why they haven't changed in a while.
That would be insane, though, if they were like, we wrote a song called The Lesson, and it's very specifically about this thing. Now write a movie around it.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think that makes sense.
No, it totally does have the vibe of how the songs have progressed, is that they just sold them in bulk in 1998.
Yeah, because if you put all of them together from like all the movies that those two have done, it might make a complete musical arc. But right now it's like you had all three negative songs are in one movie, and it's like we criticized whomever they were, that girl group that wrote the songs in two, but I still know those songs, like the run around and the we're a family and you're part of us now. Those two songs I can still like sing along with them somewhere.
And the egg song.
And eggs.
Yes, of course.
But like these ones are just like, they're all so bad. I couldn't tell you. I mean, maybe Friends for Dinner, but that's about it.
Friends for
Friends
dinner.
for dinner, and only because it seems like it's almost a Simpsons song.
Yeah. Well, so is this "You Can Lie" song. It's
Yeah.
the cut every corner song from Sherry Bobbins. Yeah, which I could sing all of it right now if I had to. But anyway,
the riff that's been stuck in my head, and I think it's because of Bo Burnham, but I'm not even sure like where it goes. Is "Can I be a booze hound?"
Not till you're 13.
It's 15. Which I was just like, that's a dark line. Like I had to go back and look. I was like, was it 18? Like, what? Oh, it's 15. Oh, fuck. Like, okay.
13. So I
Yeah.
obviously had an even more negative opinion. Anyway, Simpsons classic. Okay, so yeah, Dougie runs after Spike, like we said, without telling anybody. And
Classic.
Yeah.
And that's that leads everyone off to the great beyond as per usual.
I mean, the fact that anybody still thinks anything about going into the mysterious beyond is just like ludicrous. You know, the fact that they're like, can we go into the mysterious beyond without telling our parents? I'm like, yeah, of course you can. You've already done it 12 times or 8 times.
do it every week.
Yeah.
It's like literally they live in Diamond Bar and they have to drive to LA every once in a while. Like,
oh God.
Yeah, well, this time it's more like Mr. Thicknose being like, are you seriously going into the mysterious
And it's like, if he's their teacher and he's lived there the whole time, wouldn't he know about the 7 or 6 other times that they survived these like horrendous?
Well,
like,
he probably was just pretending to know about it.
I guess.
yeah, that's what that whole lion song was about.
It's like, yeah, I don't actually
no
know
one's
anything.
left more than they have. So if anything, all of his stories are probably from them.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mr. Thicknose has been imbibing on some of the magic mushrooms in the Great Valley and has not been paying super close attention to what the kids have been up to.
He snorted the sparkly ground dust.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, right? Something like that.
Something like that.
I can't remember.
It's he's awful and irritating.
He's kind of funny sometimes.
Ugh.
I mean, then like Ducky is getting chased by a sharp tooth in the snow, and I'm like, why is this guy even chasing Ducky? Like, this T-Rex chasing Ducky is like if I ran across the street after a sesame seed, you know? Like, it's like, what is the point? Just let her go. Like,
ooh, a single peanut. I better grab it.
like, why?
I'm so hungry. That's true. Also,
what is that? A single sesame? Allow me to disrupt the flow of traffic so I can run across the street.
I also was just like, another sharp tooth. Like, what else is gonna, like, you know? Can't they come up with some other kind of?
You don't need sharp tooth. The snow and the like terrain and the weather is bad enough obstacle in this.
Exactly.
I would like to direct you. The same criticism could be leveled at the Jurassic World franchise.
Well, at least it's
you don't
about
need a sharp
dinosaurs.
tooth to come in and fix everything at the end. Always.
Well, yeah, I feel like, I don't know.
You do, because how else would they get that banner to fly down with an ironic statement?
Exactly. Oh God, I don't know. It was just, you know, this whole part, I was just like, wow, this is really predictable. They deal with the same exact things. They knock it off a cliff just like they do in every other movie.
They kill the sharp tooth by throwing stuff down at it. They're like, oh, we know how to do this. Let's go to murder mode. Like, let's start throwing snowballs down.
They all watch him fall to his death, and then Petrie's like,
That gotta hurt.
Yeah.
And then they all walk away, and of course he like starts moving. It's like, come on, haven't you learned at this point to like double tap? Like,
How many murders have they committed at this
A
point?
lot.
Do we think?
oh God.
you would think that the sharp teeth would have like signs up about them and stuff.
Yeah.
Do not chase after these children.
Do not chase after these kids.
They look like children, but they will find a way to kill you. It
They're
happens
stone
every
cold
time.
killers.
It happens every time. We've lost so many aunts and uncles.
I mean, there's 8 movies. I feel like it's probably 2 of them that they haven't killed a sharp tooth.
yeah, because once there were
Once there was
raptors,
a bunch of raptors, yeah.
Yeah.
and then the
And
other
once
time
there was just that stupid alligator and bird.
Oh yeah,
Right.
God,
But they were killed by a Nessie. Yeah, there's another card you can play. There's tons of other crazy dinosaurs that can mess people up. You don't have to have a sharp tooth every time.
I just thought it was going to end up being more about the big freeze, but I feel like that was not. There's not really much going on.
The
with
big
that.
freeze could have been literally anything to make that they had to get outside the Great Valley. Like it's been a meteor. It's been it's like, oh no, like rent prices are going up in the Great Valley. Like I better start commuting. And
I mean, it didn't even really need to be. It could just be like the Spiketails are leaving because it's time for them to leave.
That's
and
what
then
I'm saying.
Ducky chases them, and then everybody else chases them. Like the snow didn't even have to be there.
Exactly. So it's just kind of a waste of a premise, I guess.
Well, I guess they probably had that whole movie and then they realized that, wait a minute, this is only 40 minutes. Can we get 10 minutes of meaningless snow footage in here? And they were like, yes, we sure can.
Yeah, I don't know. Ah, God. Oh, I had one other clip I wanted to play that I thought was really funny. There's that moment when they're getting chased by the sharp tooth and they're all running like, oh my God. And really, there's a really hilarious moment where they're like climbing up that mountain and Mr. Thicknose is like, oh God, I don't think I can go any further. And then he like looks behind him and he's like, actually, never mind, maybe I can. And then like runs off. And he's like running in front of everybody. And then he gets up there and he's like,
What am I doing? I should be protecting these young ones, not running like a ninny.
not running like a ninny. But then I think it is ultimately Mr. Thicknose that kills the thing with the with a log. He throws a log at him.
Yeah. Okay.
Smart.
I mean, I thought it was kind of cool if they found like a hot spring. Although, like, could there even be a level of solid ice over a hot springs?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know anything about.
I have no idea either. Yeah, that does seem strange. It seemed like it would be really thin ice, which I guess it breaks, so I don't know.
Yeah, later. Oh, well.
Well, it breaks initially. That's how they find it, right? They're all like, oh, we're skating on this ice, and then it breaks, and they're like, oh, wait, never mind. It's shallow here.
Oh, yeah, but it's shallow, yeah. And then later, Spike falls in the deeper part. I mean,
it's shallow, and the water is all red for some reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, throughout...
Okay, we got to talk about the colors.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Okay, so although the animation... and the light and shadow and textures were all, in my opinion, markedly better. And Tyler, you can speak more to this. I'm not an animation expert. I'm just going off of like what I'm seeing. But the color and I don't know what you even call it, the like color matching or color grading throughout the movie.
Color grading.
Awful.
It's
Nothing
all
was the same
over
color
the place. Yeah.
ever. And just because someone is walking over snow, it doesn't mean that they should turn a completely different color than we've ever seen them before. Like,
I was like, is this supposed to mean that they're cold? Everyone's turning blue.
I mean, it would, but then wouldn't it be gradual and then it would change? Like, no, it's just that, like, oh, when they're in the snow and when it's cloudy, all of a sudden Spike is purple, Petrie is like light brown or something, totally different than he's ever looked. Like Sarah's like green now. It's just like, it was like so annoying and bad just throughout.
It was so wildly inconsistent, and in a way that they must have not done any post on it, and maybe there's different stuff that came together where there wasn't traditional color passes on it. But yeah, it is not for any reason other than incompetence. Like it looks really bad and inconsistent.
Which was such a shame though, because in the beginning of the movie, there are some really awesome light moments. Like to the point where I was like, after watching 7 other ones of these, there was some light moments that I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. You know?
Yeah.
Because I'm so starved for like decent animation. But like, oh, the color, man. I mean, okay, so they did appear to have moved to China. It's no longer all Korean names. It's now Chinese names. And like I said, a lot of things were much, much better, but the colors were just bad.
Yeah, and I don't know what there was some process thing. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, it's really cool to see feature level animation. It is better quality than the cartoons that are happening at the time and everything else. Like, but at the same time, you know, Disney has set this standard for actually really interesting because this was, what was it, 2003?
2001.
2001. So
you got
like
Lilo and Stitch, which is like watercolors.
Yes.
And then you got Dinosaur, which is like photos.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like Disney
locations.
is still doing 2D animation, but like these will get to the point where Disney stops. And these techniques will allegedly go beyond that. And I'm actually really interested to see what these films end up looking like when they're the only ones that are really putting out feature-length animation at this genre and at this level. But it's never going to be as consistent as things that we've seen from other studios.
Yeah.
And anything that was released theatrically.
Yeah, the color thing was very odd because it was like, I also felt like they never really seemed like they were ever cold. Like they never acted like, oh God, we're so cold. Instead, they just like turned progressively bluer. Which,
yeah, I mean, to be cold, you'd have to show shivering, which is extra, difficult for them, I guess. And you'd also have to show gradual change, or like, that their beaks and feet are more cold than the rest of their body, like something like that. But they don't have time for that. It's just like, oh, I guess he's cold and the sun's not out, so now he's purple.
Mm-hmm. Stupid. Don't like it. So yeah, they find this, they find this kind of like little haven of warm spring water, and there's food there. And meanwhile, the Stegosauruses have gotten lost out in the storm. But Spike, he's got the nose for food. He could smell it from who knows. I mean, it seemed like they were actually pretty close by, but I don't know.
And like the fact that he has these like special powers, like maybe I guess that's something that he picked up from living with these other types of dinosaurs, and so that's why he's good at that. Or like I just didn't know why the rest of them couldn't do it. It's a biological thing,
right? Or Spike is just way more obsessed with food than they are, or something. I don't know.
Yes, but like being more obsessed with food than other people doesn't automatically mean you have a better sense of smell, does it?
No,
I don't think so. Unless you're Daredevil.
I don't know.
And it's raining.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But yeah. So I don't remember. I think they eventually show up, but they still haven't like. When Spike shows up, they still haven't like gotten the rest of everybody there though, right? Because there's been an avalanche and it like blocked the entrance to the Great Valley or something.
No, they get the parents and everybody there first before the Spike Tails.
Oh, okay. Well, that part where they're like screaming really loud to get the parents' attention or something, that the shot of like the way that is composed looks really awkward because it looks like they're way closer than they actually are. I don't know. It just looked really bad.
Also, it's like, haven't you guys seen Mulan? Like, you had the right idea the first time. Shoot Petrie into the side of the mountain.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can tell you about Tippy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Please do.
Yeah, because it's been a minute since we had any Child Star check-ins. But Tippy is Jeremy Suarez, who before this movie, he was in Jerry Maguire and other things, and then he was the main kid, I think, on the Bernie Mac show, and he was Coda in all the Brother Bear things.
Oh, sweet.
And he's still, I guess he kind of took a break from Hollywood and acting, but now he's on Instagram. He he'll repost people's cute fan art from Brother Bear, and he posts still a lot of stuff about Bernie Mac. It looks like that death really hit him hard, obviously. And seems like he's doing fine.
That's great. So you're saying that Tippy's not coming back. That's what the Child Star check-in reveals.
I don't know if I'm saying that. I'm saying that Jeremy Suarez is not coming back.
Okay, I see.
That's right.
Could be a different voice actor for sure, yeah.
Tippy and
I'm saying that he's definitely not coming back in movie 9. I did not look beyond that.
Yeah. Fair enough. But, I mean, God, yeah, not much, like, there's nothing that happens in this movie, barely.
No, I feel like that this might. I don't know that we need to really stretch this out and to be a longer episode. Quite honestly.
Well, I did enjoy the ending when they cut to like everyone just like it looked like everyone's chilling in a hot tub at the end.
Yeah,
and I guess they just chilled in that hot springs for like 3 months or something, or however long it took for the Great Valley to come back.
And then the final shot is them all just traipsing back into the Great Valley, and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe go somewhere else.
Yeah,
maybe I've
seems
had
like
it with
it's
the Great
fine.
Valley.
Yeah, seems like it's great out there.
It was really weird too. Like the movie, you know, everyone's back together, yay, and it's all wrapping up, and you think it's over, and then like all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, we have a real breakthrough moment.
Oh,
where like
I forgot.
where like Spike and Tippy are like rolling around, and then like I don't know, Tippy pushes Spike and he falls into this into the ice in like a deeper section where the water is too deep, and it's actually kind of a shocking moment because he's like, you know, really struggling for help, and like we get like this happens. And it's like really kind of messed up because, you know, he only ever speaks in very, you know, stressful, distressed moments, and seeing him like scream "Mama" and then almost drown.
It was pretty, honestly, I was pretty like weirdly moved by it.
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely cute at that point after what they've been through, you know.
And it was fun to see the mom go in and rescue him. And that's how they decide like, well, I guess you really are the better mom. You're right. You saved his life. Okay, fine. Whatever. I just thought that was just a strange moment to have, like, with, I don't know, 3 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah, but it was a good moment for Spike and Mrs. Ducky or whatever her name is.
Mama.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like it just seems like, so I appreciated the fact that in the last movie, we got to like learn a little bit, like, okay, obviously we've all had enough of Sarah's dad, but last movie we got to learn a little bit more about Petrie's mom. And this movie we get to learn a little bit more about Ducky's mom and how she has felt throughout the action of these movies. And, you know, they have all these characters that like supposedly live in the Great Valley. And now that they have more money to animate them, why do they not have like Ducky's sisters participating and being around all the time? You know, instead of introducing some new tribe that comes in every time and these new people like Mr. Thicknose, I'm like, why don't you like talk about some of the existing relationships?
Yeah.
Especially when they were all in school, I was like, what is this caste system that only Petrie and Ducky and Spike get to go to school, but none of the other siblings do?
Right.
Yeah, or are they all in the same grade or something, and that's just their teacher for that grade? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I could get, you know, one room schoolhouse type thing, but it's like, where are all the other kids?
Yeah.
Not that I want to see Dino and Dinah or whatever their names are again.
Oh, God.
I do not.
Dino and Dinah.
But I would
Please
like
no.
to learn
Please
about
no.
how Ducky's sisters feel about all this, and you know, Petrie's siblings, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're probably pretty sick of Petrie and Ducky always traipsing off with Littlefoot and Sarah and getting everybody into trouble.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know.
Or they're like, we never get to do anything fun. They're always going out. What the heck?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's it. That's the movie. The big freeze.
That's the movie.
The big freeze, you guys. Not even barely a plot point. Excited.
Yep. I think that's it. I honestly do think that's it. I mean, there's a song about lying. They get a teacher who's a liar. Littlefoot's smart, I guess.
And it's literally called, the song is called The Lesson. So this is the lesson of the movie, that everybody lies, and you know, you just, sometimes it's fine.
I mean, I identify with Littlefoot in this situation because I was a kid that certain kinds of adults hated, just kind of because I was like talking and asking too many questions and acting older than I was, and that annoyed them. And so they were like really mean to me. And so I like totally get how Littlefoot feels, but the fact that the solution is to just accept that this guy's like a liar rather than, you know, maybe the teacher should just not be behaving like that because she's a teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, he does apologize to Littlefoot's grandpa and say, like, I shouldn't have said those things at the parent-teacher conference or whatever. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
Nope. Terrible. All right, Tyler, what you got for us?
Oh, man. All right. I guess I would have to ask. Oh, do I have one?
While you're thinking about this, I do want to say that I think just because of the DVDs, we don't get the opening logo of Jetty, the weak jet plane anymore. But if you watch until after the credits, she's there in the closing logo.
Yep.
And we're back in space at the beginning. We didn't mention that. What were they called? Sky ground crystals? I don't even remember now.
I don't know, like sparkly ground dust or something. I don't know.
How many sheets of thin ice would you give? Land Before Time, The Great Big Freeze.
Well, I gotta say this is probably my least favorite one of them all so far, and I'm gonna give it 2 sheets of thin ice. I'm tempted to give it 1, honestly, but I'm just slightly torn because like part of it is like a really kind of like good, like I said, a good Ducky Spike story. Mm-hmm. I just wish that it would have been focusing on that more, I guess, instead of like, I don't know. We don't, I guess it's kind of mostly about that, but I just felt like there's just so much filler. And like,
it's a 20-minute Saturday morning cartoon episode of Ducky and Spike padded out for me to
that
be a
has like
feature-length
3
movie.
15-minute long school sessions with Mr. Thicknose, where it's just like, God, I can't even remember anything that's happening in this because it's so boring.
Remember that episode of Pokemon where Pikachu almost goes to like live with these other Pikachus?
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
One of the most horrifying sad songs of all time, sung by some studio musician, like that, like totally made my 12-year-old, whatever emotions like weep and cry. Like, but then this thing, I'm like, oh God, like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like, why wasn't there a montage of Ducky and Spike moments?
Yes,
I know,
because they didn't give a shit about that story. Really,
it's bad.
I'm gonna give it 1 sheet of ice.
Oh!
1 sheet of thin ice. I think it was the most reset. Let's retread all of these things with a less dynamic character. I loved all of the stuff with Ducky and Spike and exploring that relationship, and the fact that this might be the only exploration of that we get is a travesty. And yeah, it's not interesting. Nothing new happens. And I think that if they really focused on that relationship, it's such a overall theme of these movies too, of these types of dinosaurs. Like it's a really rich vein of story of finding out, what family means in here, what identity means, what it means to stick together in the Great Valley, what it means to go out beyond. Like there are all the building blocks for a wonderful story here of and all of the friends to have different diverse opinions, where like Ducky's like, I can't believe he went, and Littlefoot's like, hey, like there's a lot of exciting stuff out there, like I'm excited to see what he, like they all have personality that we've seen develop over 7 movies that is just erased in this, and it made me enjoy it that much less.
Okay, I don't think I hated it as much as you guys, despite my like criticisms of like all these things. But I think I did still like it more than the Stone of Cold Fire.
But there were aliens in that one.
Well, that's sort of my point. Yeah. So I think I want to give it 3 sheets of thin ice, even though the songs and the colors were garbage. The animation overall is a lot more tolerable to my eye anyway, and I was happy to learn, to actually like explore these things about Spike and Ducky and Ducky's mom. Like I've been, complaining about the lack of the character development for our main characters, like for every movie, and so I hope they like try to work with some of what they have instead of just bringing in new, wasting the time and the money and the animation limited resources they have on these new characters and nobody cares about, and show us more about like what's going on here.
Yeah, for sure.
They should have just continued on with the crazy crackpot Littlefoot, and he could have been like, the aliens made the snow fall. I I didn't tell you this last time because you made fun of me, but there were aliens, I swear.
Aliens, I've seen them. You gotta believe me.
I
You
really
gotta
hope
believe me.
that this like Chicken Littlefoot thing, they stop.
Chicken Littlefoot.
They really should stop it.
Yeah, I don't want every movie to be that because it's not nice, and there's nothing more annoying to a kid than not being believed.
Well, just let the adults believe him after 8 fucking movies.
He's always right. So,
Or even if you don't believe him, don't like ostracize him from the community.
Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to go fully to 1 because I'm secretly hoping there's still a worse movie yet to come.
No, you're probably right, but we'll see. Speaking of that, what do we have on deck for next week?
Well, guess what? It's number 9, and it's it's called Journey to Big Water.
We already went to the Big Water.
We kind of already did that, but I guess it was more about an island, kind of.
Oh my god!
So I don't know. Maybe this is the one where Chomper comes back. Who knows?
I would love that. TBH, bring Chomper.
Although, can Chomper get back? He's on an island, so it'd be kind of tough.
Yeah, as long as that isthmus thing, the land bridge comes back up in the tide.
That's true. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in this movie.
Climate change, anything could happen. Part of a continent could break off and create new real estate.
I can tell you this. I've just opened up the IMDb because I was just looking at it, and the first thing it says is after a harsh period of rain. So
they didn't even go with. They didn't even why wouldn't they go with? There was all this snow and ice, and then it melted really fast, and now there's big water everywhere. No, they're just going to go with a rainstorm? Cool. All right. Great. It must be the flood from the Bible. I knew it. It's all about the Bible. This
okay, but
movie.
also, if you have rainwater everywhere, why would you go to the ocean?
I don't know. We're probably going to find out.
We're about to find out.
All right.
Sounds like a threat. But until we go to the big water, after we're coming out of the big freeze,
a lot of big.
Yeah,
so big. A lot of
much big.
Are you trying to say something else, or should I just say the email?
Do the emails.
No, just say the email. I was going to make a joke about how Mr. Thicknose, in my mind, I was singing the song Mr. Big Stuff, but then I couldn't remember if that was from
Mr.
Mighty Ducks soundtrack. Mr. Thicknose,
probably.
Who do you think you are? But then, that's where the big thing came from.
Who do you think you are, Mr. Thicknose? That's perfect, actually. No shit.
But yes, lots of big. Anyway.
Email us at sequelrights@gmail.com, or you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. 5 stars goes a long way to helping other people find the show. Please leave us in the comments what fond memory you would have liked to see Spike and Ducky do in the montage that we were deprived of in this movie.
By the way, this movie sold 2.5 million copies according to Wikipedia.
Damn.
So that is why they kept cranking them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every single one at the bottom of the Wikipedia is like, it's been nominated for all these awards, and the girl who does Ducky wins every time for voice acting or something.
Well, I just think that there's not a lot of yearly 2D animation that's coming out at this point.
Yeah. Also, it's like the direct-to-video awards.
Yeah.
Specifically, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no animated direct-to-video nonsense happening. So,
well, I for one hope that Big Water is a brand new trendy bar that opened up on the outskirts of the Great Beyond, and they're gonna journey to Big Water.
Littlefoot's gonna have a mustache. He's gonna be a line cook. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we gotta try those mojitos over at Big Water.
We're still in the window where Patrick Swayze can do a voice role.
I'm gonna open up a bar called Big Water and make it Land Before Time themed. Okay.
Friends for dinner.
All right, that's it. We'll see you guys next week for Land Before Time 9, Journey to Big Water.
We get mad! How do you do that? First, make your face all squinty and hold your breath until you're blue and make your eyes turn red. Squint your face up, wrinkle your beak like you just smelled something bad. Turn your smiley face upside down. That's the way you look when you're mad. Now put your hands on your hips, shoulders back. Stomp your feet in the dirt. Kick some rocks.